Hey Simlies, it's Deligracy here with part 3 of Let's Furnish a Sorority House, and obviously you can probably tell we are doing this a bit differently this time around. I am talking over a sped up version. My reason why is because I wasn't really feeling what we had done too far, like 100%. There were little things I wanted to change and refine, and I find the easiest way to do that, if you've watched my other kind of furnishing and reno videos, is to actually go back and kind of do it without having to commentate at the same time. So that's what we're just doing now, and it does change up a little bit. I was reading through the comments, and I'm taking a lot of what you guys are saying in, and it's been really helpful. And one of the most popular things that people have been commenting about was to change the black and white tiles. So I decided to give it a go, and I had a go at having lighter tiles, but in the end we actually changed it to some floorboards. A lot of comments were also saying that was kind of looking like too little girly. It wasn't sophisticated enough. And you know what? I agree with those comments. I don't agree with all comments, obviously, because I do stick to my guns in what I want to do. But sometimes when people bring up these things that I'm kind of thinking as well, I definitely want to go and change them. So we do make this room a little bit more sophisticated, and we also go back to the dining room, and we also we complete the kitchen in this part as well. So it's just kind of going back and refining a few things first. And I was looking at these chairs, and they were like, I was trying to do it all white, and I thought that was pretty badass, but then I'm like, the girls would get the chairs so dirty. Like, can you imagine having sorority parties here and the chairs would just be absolutely munch? So anyway, we kind of end up using this fabric that I really liked on the chairs, and the walls that are now kind of a peachy color, peachy pink, not quite as straightforward baby pink as it used to be. That peachiness is kind of brought out by those chairs that have the two-tone colors within the pattern, which I really liked that. And the beloved green couches, that pattern I do want to carry over, maybe in the more casual lounge room or in the study room. I'll try and use that pattern again, but in the end there was so much pattern going on in this room, I figured that we needed to make it just a solid green color. So I know some of you guys are going to be like, no, I loved the floral green couch. That was a decision I decided to make, and we'll try and use the green again later on. But yeah, just going back and I guess the carpet was pretty patterned as well. Pretty patterned? Does that even make sense? I don't even know. But just going back and kind of making it a bit more plain, a few more solid colors around the place. And I adore this chair in the corner. I think it's from the store. Actually, speaking of the store, I am going to purchase Lucky Palms. Well, I haven't yet, but I need to, because I haven't bought that world yet, because it didn't really stand out to me as something I would really like to play with. In comparison to other worlds like Hidden Springs and stuff like that, and Sunlit Tides and whatnot. So I never really bought it, but then I was looking through James's content on his computer, and there were a couple of things that stood out. One being a fence that in the build we're doing on his channel, I asked you guys where that fence was from. It was from Lucky Palms. Those things have made me decide that I'm going to purchase it, so I'm hoping to do a build there eventually. But I have been a bit behind the builds. I've been working on one for a while that I really, really want to get out. It's the Supernatural build, and it's in collaboration with Midnight Simmer, who is really, really good at making Sims. I love the Sims she creates. And she actually created me as a Sim, which is really cool. But she's made a Sim that I'm building the house for. So it's basically the client, and I'm excited to get that finished. I'm hoping like in the next couple of days, but I won't make any promises just yet. Also here we're working on the flooring, and I kind of liked this idea of using the square floorboards. I'm not really familiar with flooring like this. I haven't really hung out in any homes with that kind of flooring, so I kind of wanted to use it. I also like how the chair that's in the corner, it is both white and it also has a pattern on the armrests, like they've kind of been, I guess it's kind of like fabric draped over the armrests in a way, and I like that. This table is pretty awesome, and that is from Sims 3 University Life. But then I discovered this other, I guess it's like a standing up a banner. Here it is, which I really, really liked, because I'm like, the formal dining room's kind of like the meeting room. It's where the girls would get together and talk about upcoming events and stuff, or invite other sororities or fraternities to their house. And I wanted them to have that banner in the side of the room that kind of promotes themselves. I thought that was nice. And working on the dining room here, I really, really, really love how the dining room turns out. It was a bit blah, a bit meh. I actually think someone commented it was meh in the comments in the last video. But I was feeling that as well, and I just wanted to... Oh, someone also reminded me to brighten up the room, or if I could turn up the lights a bit. So I hope that helps you be able to watch it. And oh my goodness, I'm so sorry about the sound effects. My last two videos, or like the one before the second last one, the volume was really, really loud. I have to watch that, so I do apologize for killing your eardrums if I have. But anyway, I love how this room turns out. It is quite different to what it is now. I was going with like a purple idea here, and I don't know, I feel like purple would go better in one of the bedrooms. I don't know. I kind of liked the purple plum idea, but it was a bit too dark for the dining room. I kind of have this thing where in areas that I'm eating, like kitchens or dining rooms, for some reason I like them when they're a lot brighter than darker. That's just me. I don't know if it's to do with something with my appetite and feeling fresh or something, but that's just how I am. So I felt like the purple was a bit dark, and even though it's very pretty, I think a few of you guys might like that kind of room actually, but we do change it up to like it's kind of like an orangey mandarin-y color in a second. And I was trying yellow and purple, and I was like, it's not really, really working for me. So we do change it in a bit. I'm enjoying using curtains for once. That is a nice change. Oh, and I just remembered someone in the last video did tell me I forgot to put curtains in the previous room on those windows, and I can't remember if I did that deliberately or not, but I will check it in the next part probably. We also change these chairs to a wooden texture, and I don't know, I just love how the carpet has that kind of floral pattern around the edge of it, so it looks youthful and bubbly. We've got the blue curtains, and then these classic striped chairs, and I love the clash of the stripes with the flowers. You guys know that I love florals and stripes. And then this beautiful orange wall gets put in, and I just love this room. I like how it's just a shade darker than the room before. It goes from that pinky color, pinky peach, to more of a mandarin-y pastel orange, and I really liked that. Also, a lot of you guys, when I was complaining about how I wanted to put the trophies on the shelf, a lot of you guys were like, why don't you just like use move objects on and stick a shelf on the mantelpiece, like stick it through it so you can put the trophies on it. And I was like, why did I not think of that? So here we are, putting the shelf in, putting those trophies on top. So they have their trophies in the dining room, so they can admire them while they eat their supper, perhaps. And we've got the lovely angry freezer bunny here. I love freezer bunny. I really want to buy a freezer bunny, or make a freezer bunny cuddle toy to sleep with at night, because they're so cute. I kind of like this bad freezer bunny as well, rather than the happy one. It's like the angry one. Pretty cool. And I, of course, wanted these trophies to be gold, because our sorority house are winners. So we had gold ones there. And I put in some curtains here in case I wanted to kind of close off that dining room, or close off the kitchen and the formal dining area as well. Which I like that effect. I like having the curtains. It's definitely a different kind of furnish to what I have done before, I feel. Usually I don't use things like curtains, and I don't typically like super girly things. I know a lot of my builds and whatnot are feminine, but they're not girly as such. I don't know if that makes sense, but that is what is in my head, and that's what I think. We briefly go into the entrance room here, because I was trying out a few different things with the wallpaper. I was like, I can improve this, or can we change this up a bit and make it more interesting? But in the end, I'm like, you know what? I actually liked how it was originally. So we go back to exactly how it was at the beginning. It was kind of a fail trying to change it up a bit, but I think it was just a bit too much what I was trying to do with the stripes. So we keep it as it is. But then the kitchen. it took me a little while to do the kitchen to kind of get it going in the direction where I wanted it to, because I kind of thought about the fact that obviously I've never lived in a sorority. I've lived in uni accommodation though, and I knew that kitchens is about sharing. It's especially if it's a communal kitchen. So you want to have a lot of bench space. You want to have multiple stovetops so you can kind of different students can cook simultaneously without having to wait around for someone to finish up their meal. So I had this idea that I wanted there to definitely be like an island bench in the middle. So at first I start kind of experimenting with putting it in between columns, but then we end up going with this kind of E-shaped kitchen. It'll make sense in a little bit. But I was also trying to figure out what kind of countertops I wanted to get. And in the end, I thought, you know what, let's just go traditional with marble tops that would not wear and tear too easily. Personally, I love timber tops in kitchens, but, you know, for a sorority house, I think it would get beaten up pretty quickly. So anyway, here we are trying a few different things with the arrangement of the counters. And I thought that it would be fun to use that, like, oven and stuff from the store venue that's like, it's like a restaurant, the bistro, but in the end I don't use it because I was like, not many people will have it, but you know, you can easily put that into your game if you do have it. I might add it in. I don't even know how it works, to be honest. I haven't even played with that set yet, so I'll probably put it in. I also tried doing a sectional wall here and kind of putting those counters against it, but it didn't seem very sociable because you'd be trying to talk to the person behind that like massive wall and you would not be able to have a conversation. So I deleted that, scrapped that idea, and then I kind of had this idea of using a half wall, putting the counters on either side of it, and then it hit me that I just wanted to join up the counters. So the counters are going to be joined back to back, and it makes it really sociable because you can be cooking and talking across to the other person who's cooking. And I don't know, I thought it was just a cool idea. It's definitely different to any kitchens I've done before, which is kind of fun. And yeah, you just gotta constantly keep experimenting in The Sims. That is the beauty of the game. I love that it's so easy to change things, and in The Sims 4, it's going to be even easier. So I cannot wait. Here I am struggling a bit with the snapping of the different countertops, but I do put the bigger snap cheat on, which I don't actually use that often. Usually I can't be bothered using it, but I guess for this, because there was quite a lot of work to do with the kitchen, I decided to use it in the end. But yeah, a lot of messing around with this kitchen, so I made sure to use base content only, except for the stoves. So if you do want to download it, here I am trying to find the cheat I wanted. If you type in help, just in case you don't know, it'll come up with all the cheats, so you can easily, you can't copy and paste them, but you can just type them whilst looking at them. And so I've got the cheat on here, so it's a lot easier to put the kitchen together. And yeah, as I was saying, it's base content only because this kitchen is a biatch, excuse my French, to actually put together. So that will make sure that it's easy to put into your game. These stovetops were sticking too far, well, not the stoves weren't sticking too far inwards. They were not long enough. So we actually had to get rid of the island bench tops and put these other base game ones in, which work because if it makes sense, they don't have the kind of upper lip across the back of them like the traditional one does already on the wall. But I actually like that it's different to the ones that are across the back wall, because it's like sororities over time, they probably need to be upkept and renovated. So it's like they've kept half of the original kitchen, but also put in some new, I guess, pieces into it. So that made sense to me. And yeah, you can see here how I wanted them to be able to cook and look across from each other whilst making meals and stuff like that. So yeah, I like it. The only problem I had was the end of it. I was like, oh no, how are we going to like fix up the end part, because the wall was uneven at the end. So I tried putting shelves in. There's a lot of experimentation with move objects on cheat. I was going to go with this shelf, and then I realized it's like a comic store shelf. So it did not make sense to have it there. So I do recolor it and then get rid of it. Trying out some other shelving from the base game, from a few expansion packs. And I was like, oh, what can I put here? We tried drawers, like the whole works burger. Of course, the Into the Future shelves, but they stuck out the edges too far. And so we get rid of those as well. And I was like, maybe I could just put a fridge here. But no, the fridges didn't work either. As you can probably tell, I was quite determined to figure out how to do this, how to make it look nice. And I was going to go with this shelf here. And I was thinking maybe I could just make it into a wall, or the illusion of a wall, and maybe put like a notice board on the back of it by floating a painting in midair. But in the end, it was just like really heavy. It didn't make sense to me. So I actually used the shelf from the bakery set from the store. Because if they choose to cook things, if you do have the bakery set, which I think we need a special oven for, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can just use base game ovens or if you need the one from the set to cook this special stuff. But anyway, if you prepare food from that, they can then put that food on the shelf as a display. Which I thought was really nice. So we do get there in the end. We're just kind of fiddling around with putting shelves through the pillars, which doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't really look too good either. So yeah, I don't know. Also, the problem with overlapping shelves is there is a lot of glitching with the light, which is really, really annoying. So here is the shelf we use in the end. I think it goes quite well. I mean, the kitchen's much more casual than the dining room and the formal room, which we have already worked on. The lounge room's going to be casual as well, like the non-formal lounge, and the study lounge as well will be a lot more informal too. I also added in a couple more stoves so you can have 4 people cooking at once, and which might be actually a little bit of an overkill for 6 girls. Seeming they'd probably prepare a lot of their food together, but oh well. Also having a fridge section on the left and then like a trash compactor area on the right there, separated by walls and 2 pillars. I thought that was kind of nice having the 2 pillars there that lead into the dining room. It's kind of a grand entrance, which I liked. A couple of sinks in here, and just popping some appliances around the place, making it look lived in, and so there's plenty of tools for the ladies to use when they want to cook something special. Or in uni, you usually just go with like 2-minute noodles and easy stuff like that. Although when I went to uni and lived in the uni accommodation, me and my friend were actually eating pretty well. Because she was really good at cooking vegetables and really good at cooking fish. So we ate really nicely. I am vegetarian, but I do eat fish. So pescatarian, I believe, is the correct word. Trying out some stools here, but in the end I wanted to have not the chair stools, I wanted to have like stools, because I don't know, I just felt like it went with the kitchen better, so I just kind of pop them all around the place. I did like this floral pattern I changed up on the chair. I thought that was really pretty, especially on a bedspread. I would really like that. That would be very nice in my opinion. Changing some music here because I didn't like the song I was listening to at all. But yeah, the stools are going in. I like that they are mismatched in the end, of course, and figuring out what to put on the wall here. We put this nice flower one. I think that's from Sims 3 Seasons, perhaps. And yeah, just changing up the pattern on the chairs or on the stools. So there's a bit of variety. Those lights going up above the stoves are from The Sims 3 University, and we're just putting, of course, some cupcakes up on the bench, which someone did mention to put in the cake again, and we did need to put in some, cabinets. But I didn't like them on the back wall because they kind of obstructed the space a bit too much. So we end up putting a blackboard in from the bakery set yet again. And we also put in like a corn dog advertisement that comes with the circus set. And I just thought that was kind of a nice way to finish off the kitchen. It's kind of a bit playful, which I thought suited the girls quite nicely. So here it is. There's the corn dogs. I've never had a corn dog. I'm assuming they're not made out of corn and they have some form of meat in them, but I don't know. We don't really have many in Australia that I know of, unless I'm just living under a rock, which I might be. Putting in some cleaning products here in the trash compactor area, and I also wanted to put like a tiled wall behind them because it just made sense if you're cleaning to have a tiled wall or some kind of splash back there. So that's what we're doing. And we do end up carrying it to the other side of the kitchen as well. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a glorious morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!